All right, family, today's date is something like March the 18th, 2023. And we're going to move forward. We're going to get this thing started. Today, we have our reader in the house, and we have several other people that wants to be here to learn, to help, to participate, and to help this to be a joyous Shabbat day. May the Most High be praised. May He guide my mind, my spirit, my body, my language, my speech, as I approach unto you, His people. May the Most High be praised from everlasting to everlasting. Toda Rabbah. All right, sis, let's do this.
Reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 13, verse 1. And the Creator spoke unto Moshe, saying, Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast. It is mine.
Stop for a second. The Most High opens up the chapter, speaking to Moshe, and this is what he says. He says, sanctify unto me all of the firstborn who openeth the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast. Keep that in your mind. The Creator wants us to sanctify unto Him. What does sanctify mean? What does sanctification mean? It means to be set apart. It means to be holy. It means to have a certain significance to the Creator. A lot of these ones who were sanctified to the Most High, like Prophet Samuel, wasn't redeemed. They were actually given to the high priest for the high priest to use him as he saw fit in the service of the Creator. His mother. Anybody know his mother name? Come on now, come on now. Start with H. Anybody know his mother name, Sam?
Moses?
Say it again. Prophet Samuel's mother, when y'all go look that up, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish teaching.
Hannah.
There you go. Thank you very much. Prophet Samuel's mother, she was barren for some period of time. And she was receiving a lot of backlash from her sister wife because her sister wife was mean and arrogant and nasty. She gave her a hard time. And it used to cause Hannah to cry all the time. And her husband felt sorry for her because the Most High didn't open her womb. So she went to the door of the temple and she cried. She cried and she cried and she cried in prayer. And she was so intense in her prayer that the high priest thought she was drunk. That's just how deep in prayer she was. So the high priest, who was Eli at the time, he said that the Creator will bless her with what she wanted, giving you your desire as you see fit. And therefore she had a child after so many years of being barren. I just let you know that the Most High is able, even when you don't think He is, He's able. So she had that child. And when that child was weaned, usually after 3 years, Israelite, Hebrew people, we usually breastfeed our child for 3 years. You can breastfeed them longer, but usually 3 years is enough. And after 3 years, she took that child and gave him back to the prophet, to Eli, the priest, the high priest, for Eli to raise that child. It just so happens that Prophet Samuel was also a priest, a Levite priest as well. He was born in the priestly family. So he himself was able to minister unto the people in a level of priest. Okay? So I just want you all to know that little bit of history of Prophet Samuel. So what she did was she sanctified her child to the service of the Creator. How many of us have had children and dedicated them to the service of the Creator? Because that's a special blessing that you're putting on the life of your child. A lot of us don't understand that. But that's a special blessing that you're putting on a life. Even though your child grew up being bad, he's been dedicated to the Almighty. That means that one day the Most High is going to have use for him. So let's read on, please. Keep that in mind. Sanctify among the children of Israel all that openeth the womb. That means your firstborn child. All that openeth up the womb. Now, it means the firstborn child by that one. You might be a man with 4 or 5 wives, 4 or 5 nashim. Nashim is the word for wife or wives. Isha is the word singular. Nashim is the word plural. But you might be a man with 4 or 5 wives. And each time that your wife have a child and it opens her womb, that child is sanctified to the Creator. Read on, please.
Reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 13, verse 3. And Moshe said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand, the Most High brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out the month Abib. And it shall be when the Most High shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he swore unto thy fathers to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this service in this month.
Now, what service is he speaking of?
Pesach and the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Feast of Unleavened Bread. You're right. Pesach, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You're absolutely right. Read on, please.
Verse 6. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and in the 7th day shall be the feast to the Creator. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall no leavened bread be seen with thee, neither shall there be any leaven seen with thee in thy quarters. And thou shalt show thy son in that day, saying, this is done because of that which the Creator did unto me when I came forth out of Egypt.
Let's stop for a second. He says, unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days. Is unleavened. Seor is the process of things to go through to make it chemits. Okay. Like vinegar is a process of Seor. Vinegar causes things to be chemits. Okay. Therefore, you shall have no vinegar in your property during Pesach and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Anything that causes things to rise causes a chemical change within the food, causing things to rise when cooked, or not even cooked, but when left out. The leavening process. A lot of people don't, in my opinion, don't teach properly when they're dealing with Pesach. Because a lot of people drink wine during Pesach. Wine goes through a fermenting process in order to make it wine. Therefore, anything that's fermenting, or anything that's going through that process or goes through that process is unclean. So there is no reason the Jewish man should be selling fermented wine for Passover, but they do. There's no reason why any Israelite should be drinking wine during the Feast of Unleavened Bread at all. But they do. So these are things that you have to keep in mind when dealing with educating our people. No one should be drinking wine because wine is fermented, Seor. And Seor is something that we shouldn't be dealing with during the week of Pesach or during the week of Unleavened Bread. Because wine goes through a fermenting process. Now let me clear this up for you. Some drinks are distilled, and distilled is not fermented, like hard liquor. Most hard liquors are distilled and not fermented. So there's a different process for them both. But still, there's no reason for you to be drinking, say there, Passover wine, saying that it's cool for Passover. All right? So just keep that in mind when you're dealing with the Feast of Unleavened Bread. But we have in our group a lot of the products. We posted in the group a lot of the products that you can and cannot eat during Passover. It's a whole list of things. Cheese you're not supposed to eat because cheese goes through a fermenting process to create cheese. But yet a lot of people eat macaroni and cheese during Passover, unless you got vegan cheese. I don't know how vegan cheese is made, but I know that regular cheese is fermented and you can't eat fermented cheese. It's a whole lot of things that are fermented that you shouldn't be using. Certain flours you shouldn't use. We're coming up on Passover. This is why these lessons are extremely important right now, because everybody wants to do their best to serve the Creator, to keep the holy days the best that they can. Isha, you have a question, comment?
Just a comment. I was going to say the vegan cheese we can't use, just like certain vegan butters. They have citric acid. They have other ingredients outside of being fermented because they can't be fermented because of the way they're made. But I won't say they can't be, but it's not the fermentation. It's other ingredients that cause leavening, or leavening agents rather, in the vegan cheese, even in the soy, even in the almond milk that's bought in the store. It's citric acid and it's something else, but I know citric acid is the main one. And so that's why we're not supposed to. Even water bottles, some of them have citric acid in it. So you just got to read carefully everything during that time, right before, that time, to make sure you don't have it in your dwellings.
She said water bottles, that's drinking water that you buy at the store. Some of them be cheap, they be discounted. There's a reason why, and they have acid in them.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, not just this kind of, but Walmart's brands specifically, I know, has citric acid all the time, and a lot of people buy that brand. But that brand is low tov during Pesach or Kagmatzo. I know the Kroger brand is good, and a couple of others, but
And I want you to keep in mind also that it is the fermenting process that makes these things not cool. It's the ingredients, but it's also the whole process that makes them not cool. When I remember about people who made wine in jail, and they make wine in jail by fermenting it in fruit. They get oranges and stuff like that of nature that creates natural fruit sugar. And they put it in the bottle and put these little things they call stingers down in the container and let it sit for a period of time. And it will create a fermenting process, and it will create wine. And they had jailhouse wine where people would drink and get drunk. All right, very good. I like that cashew cheese. That cashew cheese is good too, but you got to be careful with nuts because a lot of the nuts have yeast on them. You got to make sure there's no yeast on them. All right, Isha, you have a question, comment?
Yeah, I thought there was it says here there's a feast on the 7th day. I thought there was a feast on the first day.
No, there's actually the first day is Pesach. There's really not a feast, but we do a feast. We do have dinner, but we have that same dinner every day, all week. And then on the last day, we have a very big feast.
What's the one where it's
wait,
Sukkot.
Oh, Sukkot. Okay.
Yes, your comment?
okay, so you just said that the first day of Kagmatzo is not a feast.
I don't think the first day, yeah, it's a Chag. It is a feast day. Yes, it is. The
And the
first,
last day is a feast, right?
yes, ma'am. The first day is a feast day that we keep as a feast day. It's said by the Creator in the book of Exodus, it's a feast day. Here, they're not specifically saying that. but it is. The first day is a feast day and the last day is a feast day. The first day is a feast day that we do. It's the Feast of Unleavened Bread on the 15th day of the month. That's the first day. But it's actually Passover. Follow me? The first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread and Pesach is done the same day.
Right, I understand. I'm just trying to figure out where that is that you talked about.
Exodus, the 14th chapter, go to verse 14, 15, 16, all the way up to 17. The 17th verse will explain it.
Okay.
All right, are there any other questions? Exodus 12,
Oh, 12. Okay.
14th verse. If you read down from there, you'll see it.
Okay.
This Chag that we have. Now on a Chag, you can cook. On that day, you can cook. Any other day, that's a holy day, you're not allowed to cook on. It has to be a Chag. A feast day. Are there any questions, comments? Let's move on, please.
Reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 13, verse 9. And it shall be a sign unto thee upon thy hand, and for a memorial between thine eyes, that the Creator's law may be in thy mouth. For with a strong hand has the Creator brought thee out of Egypt. Thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in its season from year to year.
You should do it how long?
From year to year.
From year to year. So there's a lot of people that tell us we can't keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread. There's a lot of people say we can't keep Pesach in the land of captivity. The Creator says you should keep it through all your dwellings, through all your generations, and from year to year. Read on, please.
Verse 11. And it shall be when the Creator shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, as he swore unto thee and to thy fathers, and shall give it to thee, that thou shalt set apart unto the Creator all that openeth the womb, and every firstling that cometh of a beast which thou hast. The males shall be the Creator's, and every firstling of an ass that shall redeem with a lamb. And if thou wilt not redeem it, then thou shalt break its neck, and all the firstborn of man among thy children shalt thou redeem.
So what does it mean to redeem? It means that, I'm sorry, say it again.
Okay. I meant to maybe to save.
Say, okay. To redeem means you actually replace it with something else. Like the humans, a lot of humans, you didn't sacrifice them to the Creator. The animals that was first born, you sacrificed them to the Most High. You gave them to the priest ate them, or you just sacrificed them to the Creator in some type of manner. But you didn't kill the humans in that type of manner. What you would do is you redeem the save, as the sister said, you will save the human and replace it with an animal and kill the animal as an offering for the life of that human. Okay? We all understand?
Did the human do something wrong?
No. It was the firstborn of the children. Read on, please.
Verse 14. And it shall be when thy son asks thee in the time to come, saying, what is this? That thou shalt say unto him, by the strength of the hand of the Creator, brought us out from Egypt, from the house of bondage. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that the Creator slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore, I sacrifice to the Creator all that openeth the womb, being males, but all the firstborn of my children I redeem. And it shall be for a token upon thine hand, and for frontlets between thine eyes. For by strength of the hand of the Creator brought us forth out of Egypt. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh had let the people go, that the Creator led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For the Creator said, lest the people repent when they see war, and they return to Egypt.
Stop there for a second. That's a mighty lesson that the Father just shared with us. And a lot of us will read this time after time and really not see the relevance and why that's such a mighty lesson. Here we are in captivity in Egypt. The Most High did all his miracles, and we accepted and we believed. He brought us out of Egypt. And the moment we saw warfare, we doubted everything and went back to Egypt for safety. Do y'all see what's going on right here? There are so many Israelites who asked the Most High for his protection, for his blessings, his guidance. So many of us ask him for direction. He gives it to us. And we see the Most High answered our prayers. He heard us. And we began to live our lives the way that the scripture says. And then soon as some hell break out in our lives, difficult times come upon us, or we don't get what it is that we want, we start to lose all hope and trust and faith in the Most High, and we back away. And we go and run to other things and other people for the Most High to bring us salvation. We go to deities, gods and men and women, anywhere but where we saw the hand of the Most High working for us in our lives. If we don't get what we want in a timely manner, we're quick to forget all that the Most High did for us in our past. That's what the Creator is saying right here. That's the message that He's given to our people. So many of our people will never see that. So many people have walked away from this faith, this way, this truth, because the Most High didn't give them what they wanted when they wanted it. And it may seem simple to you, but when your time comes, that's your test as well. Just remember these words. When the Most High work, it's at his time. No matter how often you ask, no matter how much you beg, no matter what sacrifices you make, he gives you what he chooses for you to have when he's ready to give to you. Not when you say you want it or when you think you want it. You might not be ready for what you ask for. It ain't that he ain't gonna give it to you, but you may not be ready. For the children of Israel, it took them years to get the rewards of what the Creator had promised them. Think about it. We just read where the Most High said, where the scripture said that the Most High had promised to their forefathers that he would bring them out of Egypt. That was how many generations ago? And now he's bringing them out? That was several people's lifetime. And now he's fulfilling the covenant that he made with our forefathers when he brought them out of Egypt, with their forefathers when he brought them out of Egypt. So don't always think that the Most High got to move at your time. Therefore, if you don't see the Most High moving, you start going astray, acting a fool, and doing things that you know you shouldn't do. Give it to the Most High and give it to him in all honesty. Read on, sis. Let's see where we at.
Reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 13, verse 18. But the Most High led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea. And the children of Israel went up armed out of the land of Egypt. And Moshe took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had solemnly swore unto the children of Israel, saying, the Creator will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away from here with you. And they took their journey from Sukkot and encamped in Etam, in the edge of the wilderness. And the Creator went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way.
Now this
And by-
part you gotta really, really watch because the wordplay is here. And sis, I want you to start that verse over again. Because
Okay.
this part here, you have to watch.
Verse 21.
Read on.
And the Creator went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud.
Now read that again.
And the Creator went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud.
Now, who went before the children of Israel by day in a pillar of cloud? Who did
Moshe.
it? Who? It was the
Moshe.
Most High. The Most High.
We got
The Most High went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud. And I'm saying this for a reason because I want you to watch and see what happens. Read on. Watch what happens a little bit later on. The Most High went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud. Keep that in your mind also. Read on. Watch what happens.
to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to
And
give
by
them
night, go ahead.
to give them light to go by day and night.
So by night, he went in a pillar of what? Fire.
Fire.
By day, he went in a cloud by day. But now let me tell you something that the scriptures don't explain, that is real, that most people don't even pay attention to because they don't have that talent or that gift or it hasn't been taught to them, but I'm gonna share it with you. Do anybody know what the weather's like in the desert? It's dry. Anybody,
Extreme.
raise your hands. Just shout it out. Tell me what the weather's like in the daytime.
Dry, extreme,
Extreme
severe
what?
hot in the day,
Extreme. Go ahead, say it again.
weather and dust storms,
It's extremely hot in the day
extremely hot in the day, extremely cold at night.
and extremely cold at night. Think about it. The weather is extremely hot in the daytime, but you ain't got to worry about that because you got what? A cloud to protect you. The Creator ain't no joke, man. The Most High leaves the mysteries of these scriptures to us. Somebody else will read that ain't talented and gifted and blessed with the mystery understanding, they won't see that. The Creator went in a cloud by day for the children of Israel, is said to lead them in the way, which was true, but it was also as a covering because it's so hot in the desert. And he don't want you to sweat. He don't want you to be uncomfortable. He don't want you to be too hot. So he went by a cloud in the daytime. Well, in the daytime, it's cool because we had a cloud. We wasn't too hot. But at night, it's freezing cold. So he went by what? A pillar of fire to keep us warm. This king loves us, man. He loves us beyond our wildest imagination. He loves us in a way that a mother cares for her child. Matter of fact, even better than a mother cares for a child. But sometimes we just don't understand how much the Creator cares about us. Read that again, sis, please.
Verse 21. And the Creator went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night.
So at nighttime, when it's pitch dark out there, when it's pitch dark outside, right? The Most High was a light to us. Not only was he a light to us in the pitch darkness, but it's freezing cold in the wilderness, in the desert at night. Freezing cold. So because it's so cold, he was a fire, and that fire kept us warm. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see how much the Creator loves y'all? I pray that you do. I pray that you do. Not only did he play the role of a barrier between us and the Egyptians, he didn't just play that role of a barrier. He also kept us protected from the elements of the earth, the heat and the cold. He kept us protected. The Most High ain't no joke. He has a special love for us, man. And we got to understand that special love that the Creator has. We got to recognize that. And a lot of us don't. Read on, sis, please.
Verse 22. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of the fire by night from before the people. Reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 1.
So all day and all night, the Creator was there. And we got to see him and to witness him. By day, he was a cloud. By night, he was a pillar of fire. But he was always protecting us and always present and always kept that barrier between us and the Egyptians. Watch this. Read on, please. Watch what's about to happen.
Reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 1. And the Creator spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they turn and encamp before Pihahiroth, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal-zephon, before it shall ye camp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land, the wilderness has shut them in.
They are entangled in the land. The wilderness have shut them in because they can't get across that river, that water, that sea. So they stuck, they trapped. We got them. When this cloud stops, we're going to get them. And we're going to force them to go back to Egypt to serve us. That's Pharaoh's mind. That wasn't the Creator's mind. I need y'all to understand this king. This king ain't no joke. Everybody's standing out there like, what are we going to do? You let us out here. Now what? We going to die out here? Because Pharaoh, they right there. We see them. And over here, it's all wilderness. Over there, it's nothing but the sea. We can't make it either way we go. How are we going to make it, Moses? You lied to us. You deceived us. They're probably going to pick up stones and try to kill him. They want him to be the first one to die. But you know what Moses is going to do? Moses is going to go to the Creator and be crying to the Creator. Creator going to say, boy, why are you crying to me? I already told you what to do. Remember, when Moses was in the mountain with the Creator for those 40 days, not the 40 days, when Moses was in the mountain, when he was living with Jethro, and he went into the mountain and spoke to the Creator made him a what?
Elohim.
That's right, an Elohim. He restored Moses to his natural mind state. He opened up those sockets in Moses's brain that allowed Moses how to know how to do things that ordinary people don't know how to do. What he did was he already taught Moses what he needed. Moses didn't realize it because he didn't have the faith and the confidence within himself. So every time he gets stuck, he'd be like, oh, Creator, oh, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? The Creator said, stop crying to me, boy. Stop crying to me. I already told you what to do. I showed you. And then Moses is going to get up on a rock, hold his hands up high, and the waters are going to start separating or turning into dry land. Most people believe that the river, the Red Sea, that water went back this way and the water went back this way, and that at the bottom of the ocean became dry land, and that the people walked down that steep slope across the bottom floor and then back up another slope and then back down to even ground. And I profess to you today that that's not the way it was. The waters became a wall of water on this side, a wall of water on this side, and the water that was in the front became dry ground. And the people of Israel walked straight across. That's what happened. So let's read the scripture. Let's see. Read on, sis. Watch what happens, y'all. Let's go.
Reading from the book of Exodus, chapter
Yeah,
14.
the waters can't close after the dry walls, the water walls fall and collapse. Of course it can fall on itself.
But there was dry land in the middle. How can
Because the Creator commanded it to be so. Read on. Let's watch and let's see. Read on, y'all, please. Sis.
Reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 4. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them. And I will be honored over Pharaoh and over all his host. that the Egyptians may know that I am the Creator. And they did so. And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving us? And he made ready his chariot and took his people with him.
Do you know that the United States, if they let us go out of this land,
Mhm.
that this land will collapse? The economy will collapse. And they could no longer have force and power over the nations because they let us go.
Mhm.
Pharaoh recognized that. I can imagine being back in Egypt, back in Goshen in the land, and we were spending all our money. We spent all the money with the Egyptians more than we spent with our own people. It's like we do right today. And we keep their economy running and flourishing strong. But in Israel, it looks like the ghetto, the hood. I mean, in Egypt, in Goshen, it looked like the hood because we don't take care of ourselves. That has still happened with us today. We're still doing the same thing. We got a school here, at GHA, Goshen Hebrew Academy. And we get almost zero support from the Hebrew community. Almost zero support. Fortunate, the Most High has blessed us with a way that we can make it through, but we get almost zero support from the Hebrew Israelite community. We had a school for the last 2 years, and we have to count on one hand the amount of people outside of tuition that they pay who have helped us to support this school. And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. Let's read on, sis, because I'm ready to go in and get on to something else. Let's go, sis. You got it. I'm listening.
Reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 7. And he took 600 chosen chariots, and all the chariots of Egypt, and captains over every one of them. And the Creator hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went out with a high hand. But the Egyptians pursued after them, all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, and his horsemen, and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea, beside Piharoth, before Baal-zephon.
Before Baal-zephon. Read on, please. I think Baal-zephon means Lord of the Flies. I think. If somebody can look that up for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. Baal-zephon. Read on, sis, please.
Verse 10. And when Pharaoh drew near, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them. And they were in great fear. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Creator. And they said unto Moshe, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is not the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness.
Do you know how many of our people believe that even till today? Many people do not come to this way of life because of all the rules and regulations that are in place. Many people. It's just too many rules. Y'all got too many. I mean, I've been told this in real life. Y'all got too many restrictions. Oh, I don't want to do that. I want to be able to do this, especially when it comes to the weekly Shabbat. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do that. And with y'all, I can't do this. Therefore, I don't want to be a Hebrew Israelite. I'm not going to live this way. A lot of that takes toll on people over years. A lot of Israelites today only pretend that they're Israel. They don't really, like she said, they don't really want to be governed. They don't want to be ruled over. A lot of people want their freedom in every way to do whatever they want to do with no attachments. And that's not right. That's not how the Most High has designed it to be. Read on, sis, please.
Chapter 13, verse 13. And Moshe said unto the people, fear not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Creator, which he will show you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever.
The Most High said, the people that you see today, the Egyptians that you see, stand still and watch my salvation. All those problems you're having in your life, all those people who have become adversaries to you in your life, the Creator is telling you, stand firm on his truth, and he will fight your battles for you. He will deal with all those adversarial energies in your life. Trust in the Creator, and he'll fight your battles for you. He told our forefathers that at the Red Sea, because we didn't see no way out of this. The Red Sea is over there, the wilderness over there, and the Egyptians is back here coming at us. The pillar of cloud is in the middle, separating them from us. The angels of the Most High is going to be working for us, and we don't even understand or respect or see it. Watch what happens, please. We were getting afraid because of what we saw with our physical eyes. Whatever you think in your mind is not always what it is. Because you see it in your mind, you try to make it reality, but that's not what reality is. Don't be deceived by the perception of the eyes. There have been many who have been deceived by the perception of the vision of the eyes, where if they would have only used the perception of mind, which means that you allow the Creator to do his thing, you would have known that nothing can conquer you, that nothing will stop you, that nothing will get in your way, nothing can prevent you from being the person that the Most High had designed you to be, but you. Therefore, I submit to every one of us that we begin to be on our best behavior at all times. Seek righteousness and pursue it with all your energy and strength. Pursue it. And if you ever find out that any action that you did was wrong or unrighteous in the sight of the Creator, go back and change that action. Ask for forgiveness and change that action. Read on, please. Let's see where we at.
Reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Creator shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace.
He shall do what?
He shall fight for you.
And you shall be silent and hold your peace. Stop thinking you got to do something. Let it go. The only thing you got to do is serve the Creator. That's it. Once you get to that place of comfortability with the Most High, he will begin to fight for you. And that's a lesson that a lot of us need to learn. A lot of us are so miserable in our lives, with our lives, because we think our lives are supposed to go a certain way. I don't get this, I don't get to see that, and I don't get to do this. The Creator doesn't have that in the plans for you. Learn to accept the life that the Most High has blessed you with and find joy in it. We don't find joy in the life that the Most High has blessed us with. We want what we think we should have, when the Most High is already giving you what you're supposed to have, and whatever he's ready to give you that you don't have right now, he wants you to be patient and wait until you elevate in your mind to be able to receive what he has for you. I remember for years, I used to struggle with the idea of owning land. I mean, since 2002, I used to struggle. I used to ride around. I don't know if it's any part of Virginia I haven't been in. The first place I went was Savannah, Georgia, looking for land. And I'm glad the Most High didn't give me that land that I saw in Savannah, Georgia, because I didn't even know what I was looking for. Even in Virginia, I didn't even know what I was looking for. I was going looking at land, and this land was sitting way in the back of somebody else's land, but it was for sale. And the only way you could access the land that I had, that I was going to buy, was through an easement. I didn't even know anything about road frontage. Road frontage is extremely important when you buy land, because the road frontage means that the road is your land sits at the beginning of the major highway. So because your land sits on a main intersection, you can put houses there along the road. So that means you can get as many houses you can get along the road, you can put on your land. But when your land sits way back up in the cut, you ain't get but one house, depending on the regulations of the township. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had the yearning and a desire within me to get some land. And when I went out to get some land this time around, the Most High said, all right, young man, now it's time we're going to bless you. So I took the land that the Most High gave me and gave it back to the people. I said, y'all got a whole lot of road frontage this way and that way. You got Smith and you got Beulah for a good mile and a half, a good half a mile. You got all that space to build your houses. So go do it. What you gonna do with it, fam? You gonna build some houses or what? Are you gonna sit back and grope and moan about all the problems you reaping in the city and how nobody ain't helping you and nobody ain't doing nothing for you? You're gonna be angry with yourself. No, you ain't got to be. You can sit back, let the Most High do it, and find peace in the life that He's blessed you with. Save up your shekels and come down and build you a house on that land that the Most High has blessed you with. Save your shekels and get it done. Read on, sis, because y'all getting me excited. Read on, sis, please.
Reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 15. And the Most High said unto Moshe, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel.
He said, what?
Wherefore thou criest thou unto me?
Why are you crying to me, Moses? Did I tell you he said that? He said, why are you crying to me, Moses? I already gave you everything you needed. I already told you what to do. I already told you that this time would come. Remember the lessons that you've learned. I say this to every one of y'all right now. Whenever you got problems and difficulties and situations in your life, and you don't know the way out, stand still. Pray and stand still. And watch, don't say nothing. Just let your mind relax itself and the Most High will show you the way. I promise you, He will show you the way. Stand still and just let silence be your guide and let the Most High speak to you. And He will show you the way to deal with that situation. If your life is, you're unhappy with your life, you're unhappy with your husband, you're unhappy with your wife, you're unhappy with your children or your job, for those of you who have jobs, if you're unhappy with any of those things, stand still, meditate, take it to the Creator, and then stand still and let the Most High speak to you, and He will give you the answer. It's up to you to do what the Most High shares with you. A lot of people don't have enough courage and discipline to do what the Creator says. It's a sister on the line right here. Sister Hayagita, I'm gonna shout her out a little bit. She was later than ever, but she came. So I'm gonna shout her out a little bit. Shabbat shalom, sis.
Shabbat shalom, hush out, bruh.
All right, I'm gonna tear you up in a second. Here you go. So the sister lives behind us on the land where we live at, on our land, in Goshen. And I go over and I see her all the time. Well, I go see her a lot. Or I go see her whenever I'm home. So every time I go in there, the sister's standing still. Well, what do you mean, Prince? Every time I go in there, I pop up on her, she's working. But she's working with the mission that the Creator blessed her with. You understand what I'm saying? She ain't sitting back moaning about, oh, I ain't got this, I can't do that. Oh, I don't know where to turn. Oh, well, I need this and I need, no. She's a living example of what I mean by stand still. Stand still don't mean you don't do nothing. It means you do what the Creator has assigned for you to do, and you do it the way He tells you to do it. That's what I mean. Sometimes when we go to the Creator and we don't know, we got to stop doing what we think we know, stand still, and let Him tell us what to do. That's the point I'm trying to make, fam. Too often we think we know what we're talking about. I'm gonna put my wife on blast right now. I'm gonna tease her right now. This one right here sitting in front of me. I'm put her on blast. Last night,
Okay.
you know, every night we all pray, we all make prayer together. Me and my Nasheen, we get on the call, and we make prayer all together.
What I do?
So this one was sitting in the bed when I got up, and I don't sleep with my phones and stuff in my room. I take
Oh,
all
yeah.
those devices out of my room, my iPad, my phones, the computers, everything is out of my room, put in the next room. Because at night is the worst time. They increase the radiation in those phones at night. You don't even have to be on them, and the phones will mess with you. So I try not to sleep with those things even in my room. And when I'm in Georgia, I try to remember that also. So here we go. Last night it was time to make prayer, and it was already dark in the room, except the television was off. We was getting ready to make prayer. So we had to wait. I called my first Isha and she wasn't ready. So we had to wait until she was ready. So I went and I got up and I went and took the devices out of the room. I took all the, yeah, she laughing now. I took all the devices out the room and put them all in the office where we keep them at, so that because when we go to sleep, we don't sleep with them in the room. She got the fussing. See, she loves her sister wife. I'm glad she feel that way. I really am. She got the fussing. Well, how are we supposed to hear when she call us? You ain't supposed to do this. She put up a big fuss because she thought I took all of the devices out the room. I left one phone in the room. I left one phone, but she didn't see it. She went into her mind to determine that I was wrong, that I didn't do what I had to do in order that we can hear the phone when it rings. You remember that? And all I could do was look at her and laugh. What did I say? Did I say anything to you last night?
Yeah.
What did I say?
He said, you gonna see.
Yeah, all I could do was just laugh. I was like, see, that's what happened.
Can I tell you something? I actually seen
You did what?
I see after you said that, I seen the phone of people that said I just didn't say nothing.
That's that pride. That's that pride. Oh, she was on me. She was jumping on me, right? And I said, look, stop. Just relax. The lesson and all that, why I let her keep running, and why I'm sharing it with you right now is because we gotta stop. We gotta stop thinking we know something with our eyes and we don't know. She, with her eyes, saw me get up, take all the devices out the room. So her eyes automatically send a message to her brain telling her that your husband is out of order. He's being disrespectful to your sister wife now because he ain't gonna hear a phone call. Therefore, y'all ain't gonna know what she called, so y'all can make prayer. That's what her mind told her because her eyes showed her something. And I'm telling you right now, don't believe what your eyes show you, fam. Don't pay your eyes no mind. Let the Most High speak to you. Let the Most High show you. Let the Most High speak unto your spirit and your essence to give you direction and show you the way. Same thing with the children of Israel right here, right now. They saw the Egyptian, they saw that water, they saw the wilderness with their eyes, but their spiritual eye was dead. Their spiritual eye was dead. How do you build up your spiritual eye? By stop arguing with the things the Creator has to do for you in your life. When the Most High gives you assignment, like my sister, get on that assignment as much as you can and do it. Do the best you can do at it. Stop trying to make your life what you think. Oh, I'm supposed to be having me a husband, and I'm supposed to have me 3 children, and I'm supposed to have me a Mercedes-Benz sitting out in the driveway, and a heated air conditioning, stereo down car, and all that stuff is what you think you're supposed to have. It might not be time for you to have that stuff at this time. Do what the Most High has given you to do and do your best at it. A lot of people want to be the leader. Why does everybody want to lead? I don't know why everybody wants to lead, because this is not a pleasant job to be guiding a people who are disrespectful, rebellious, envious, hatred, jealousy, full of ego. This is not a job that anybody should be wanting to do, because it will cause you to be hated by the people. That's right, backbiting. This is what I'm saying. You got to do the job that the Most High has for you to do. And it doesn't always require what you think you should be doing. Like the children of Israel, was thinking that they should have been back in Egypt so that they don't have to die in the wilderness. Who wants to be seeing the Red Sea sitting there in back of you and your enemy coming at you, and the only thing you know, you can't swim across it, so the only thing you can do is perish? Anybody familiar with The Art of Warfare? The Art of War, the book, The Art of War? Well, in The Art of War, it tells you that one of the strategies that you cannot do is you never face your enemies with no way out. You never back them up to the river, because they will fight like they never fought ever before. They will get a courage and an energy and a strength like they never before, because they know that this is their last hope and they're going to give it their best shot. And you, being laxy-daisy coming toward them, you're not fighting that hard, and you will be destroyed. Never put somebody in a corner, or it actually says don't back them up against the river where the water is behind them. But that's basically what it's teaching, not to do that. Well, Pharaoh did that. And we got our backs up against the water. Can you imagine? The book says one thing, but can you imagine how the people started calling out to the Creator? Because they thought that was the last thing, that their last resort that they could do. They had no other choice, no other way to go. Can you imagine how people just got so serious and opened up their essence to the Creator on high? And the Most High heard them. But the Most High going to tell Moses, what's wrong with you, boy? I already told you what to do. And Moses go on top of the rock, raise his hands up to the heavens, and get what he's supposed to get. Moshe commanded the east wind to blow back. All credit goes to the Most High. Again, all credit goes to the Most High, because he's the one who made all these things happen. But Moshe was taught the art of mysticism that we have no idea about. None. But in our right minds, we are just as powerful as Moshe was, if not more powerful, in our right minds. Read on, sis, and let's see where we at. I hope that portion of that dissertation helped you all a lot in your struggles when calamities come your way, when difficult times come your way, when things happen in your life that goes against what you think you want for your life. You remember this lesson, and you begin to use the teachings of this lesson to find peace in your service to this King. Read on, sis.
Reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 15. And the Most High said unto Moshe, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward.
That they go where?
Go forward.
Well, if they go forward, where are they going? They're going right into the midst of the sea. So Moshe is like, huh? What? All right, I got you, Creator. Watch what happens, fam.
Verse 16. But lift thou up thy rod and stretch out thy hand over the sea and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the Red Sea.
So Moshe went crying to the Creator and shut the up. And he shut the up. And when he shut the up, the Most High began to give him the answer. And when the Most High gave him the answer, he said, man, lift your hands up. Go over that rock, lift your hands up and split that sea. That ain't nothing too impossible for you, Moses. I made you a god to Pharaoh. So there's nothing too impossible for you to do. You are like Elohim to Pharaoh. That means that anything you set your mind to do, you can do. And I say that to you right now, family. You are Elohim. There is nothing too hard for you to do. Nothing impossible for you to do. Whatever you desire to do, you can do it. You got that problem smoking them cigarettes, you can't kick that habit, it's because you don't believe you can. You're weakening yourself by thinking that you can't do it. You got that habit with that ASAP, that weed, that marijuana, that ganja, you don't think you can stop it? You can stop it. You have to believe within yourself that you are God. You an Elohim in this earth. You're a child of the Most High. There is nothing that you cannot do. And these little physical constraints that you have in your life right now, these little physical things that prohibit you from being the best version of yourself today are nothing but a kick in the bucket. Nothing. All you got to do is make your mind up that you ain't going to do it, you ain't going to be it, and you can achieve it. You got to understand you, because ain't nobody else going to give it to you. Don't nobody really want to see you better than them. Don't nobody really want you to see you in front of them. Don't nobody want you having what they themselves don't have. I'm telling you how to get it. You got to first see it and recognize and understand that you already got it. You just got to tap into it and make it happen. Follow me, fam. You can do it because the creator was your father. He was Ha Elohim. You are A Elohim. You are able to do whatever you set your mind to do.
All praises for that.
Do y'all understand that? So don't let me
Hey.
say I ain't got no money, Prince. Prince, I need a place to live. Prince, I ain't got no food. I don't want to hear that, because you can have anything you desire to have and you set your mind to it and you'll go get it. And that don't mean pray to the creator and then sit on your hands, because that's what a lot of people do. What I say about my sister, when I go and see her, she getting it in. She's sitting in front of that computer and she getting it in. That means she ain't sitting on her hands. She's trying to make it happen. She's getting it in. She's making it happen. And I respect that. I got a lot of people that I talk to because I do a lot of counseling to a lot of people. A lot of people sit around and talk about, oh, I tried, but it ain't working. Why are you giving up? Maybe you're trying a different way. So many people are upset with the way that their lives are going. I tell them, look through life with a different lens. Change the direction in how you see things and focus on things differently than how you've been focusing on it. Because we give too much energy to the negative aspects of our lives, and we don't uplift and embrace the positive aspects of our lives enough. We look at too much of what we don't have, what we don't do, and what we can't get, as opposed to what we can get, what we do have, and what we do do. You know what I mean? We're not thankful for the things that are positive in our lives enough. We're not thankful enough for those things, and we should be. We should be so much more thankful for the things that we disregard, things that we take for granted. We should be so much more thankful. Read on, sis, and let's go before Prince going in one of them tantrums again. Read on, please.
Verse 17. And I, behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. And I will get me honor over Pharaoh, and over all his hosts, over his chariots, and over his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the creator, when I have gotten me honor over Pharaoh, over his chariots, and over his horsemen.
Now, it has been said that in the time of the Exodus, that Egypt was left without a king. It's not going to be real specific in here that Pharaoh is actually going to die. Scripture is not going to be real specific in saying that Pharaoh died, but he says things like he killed all of his chariots, all his horsemen, all his horses, all that stuff. He drowned in the sea. But there's time in history when Egypt didn't have a king. And there are different nations of people who through history went into Egypt and occupied Egypt without a struggle. Usually, if you go into a man's land, you're going to have to fight that man for ownership of that land. To be king and ruler in that land, you got to fight the present king. But the Hyksos dynasty, they claim that they went into Egypt during 18,000, something like that, 1800 BC. They claim that they went into that land without a fight. History says they went in without a fight. So they try to place our Exodus somewhere around that time. All right, in the 1800s. And the reason why that's difficult is because Abraham was born. Abraham lived a little earlier than that. Late 17, early 1800s is when Abraham lived. So let's read on, please.
So
It's within 1,000 years, well, 100 years. So it should be cool. It should all line up pretty good. Read on, please.
Verse 19. And the angel of the Most High, who went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them.
Now, go ahead, finish your verse.
And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them.
Does anybody see what just took place? I don't want to tell you, I want to see how sharp you are. With that verse being read, does anybody see what just happened? I
Yes.
asked you to hold certain things in your memory. This is one of the things I asked you to hold in your memory. What you say, Cain, do you see what's going on, sis? You see what just happened?
Cain,
What happened, sis? Explain it.
the same pillar that was leading them came from before them to behind them. They're separating the Egyptian army from the children of Israel.
Anything else you see? You're right, but is there anything else you see? When we first started the chapter, I asked you to remember something. That was the first thing I asked you to remember. Now we're at this part of the chapter where what I asked you to remember just revealed itself. And I want to see how sharp my brothers and sisters are. Raise your hand. You got your hand up, Ishi. What's the answer?
I think I think that beforehand it said, in my book it says the Lord, right? But even then it was an angel of the Creator that was the pillar, that was the cloud and the fire, and not the Creator himself, because we all know the Creator doesn't come off his throne, but he does send his messengers, his angels and his heavenly hosts to work on his behalf, and that still is through his power. So in a way, it is the Creator doing that, but we all know that heavenly hosts will work for him. So
Thank you. Understand this, family. When I asked you to remember this verse, sis, you was right on point when you said that the pillar of cloud is what I asked you to remember, how it was in front and moved back behind. All that's great. The part that I wanted you to recognize is the part where in the other verse, it said the Most High went before the children of Israel in a pillar of cloud. It said, Yohe did this. But here in this verse, in verse 19, it says, and the angel of the Most High went in that pillar of cloud. And as Maisha just explained, it's because all glory and praise go to the Most High. All honor goes to the Most High. The angel, in this verse, it reveals to us how the Most High did it. The angel was the servant that the Most High had go in the cloud to guide us, to be a pillar of cloud, to be a fire by night. It was an angel in that cloud, not the Creator himself. But we understand that these angels are agents of the Most High, that they work for the Most High. Therefore, the credit goes to the Creator. This is what I wanted you all to see, how the angel of Elohim was in this cloud right here, but previously it said the Most High was within the cloud. All right, so let's read on and let's see what's happening. There's going to be another time when the angel going to peek his face out and scare the Egyptians, and they're going to be afraid. Read on, please.
Verse 20. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel, and it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these.
It was a cloud and darkness on one side, but it was a light to the children of Israel. That's deep. That's deep. This man, this Creator, he loves us, y'all. That is the pure example of love. And it's also an example of how he will protect you from your enemies. The Creator will fight your battles for you. Read on, please.
So that the one came not near the other all night.
Because remember, the Egyptians left Egypt in hopes to do us harm and in hopes to take us back to Egypt so we can do what? So we can serve them. But the Most High put that pillar in the middle to protect one from the other so that we wouldn't be harmed, so we wouldn't go back into captivity, and also to give us encouragement that he's still with us. Do you see your pillar cloud? I hope you do. Read on, please.
Verse 21. And Moshe stretched out his hand over the sea. And the Creator caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry.
He
And
made
made
what?
the
No, you ain't messed up, sis.
sea-
You read exactly what it says. See, it's so confusing that you even thought you made a mistake. Read it again. Watch what happened. A lot of people don't see this, but you're going to see it right now. Read it again, sis. What it say?
And Moshe stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Creator caused the sea to go back by a
The
strong
Most High,
east wind.
the Most High caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind. So if that meant that all the ocean water went back, then there will be no sea to dry up. It will be dirt, mud, which will be too soft for a nation of people to walk across. What they did was the walls formed on the sides of the ocean, on this side and this side, and the water that was in the middle the water is going to turn onto dry land. Watch, read on, sis. You ain't make no mistake. Say it again.
And Moshe stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Creator caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry, and the waters were
He
divided.
made the sea what?
Dry,
He made the sea what?
dry.
How many times will we read that and not see that that water became dry land? Think about this for a minute. If you take a glass of water, sit it on the table, pick it up, what do you see on the table after that? Dryness. It'll be rings, it'll dry up. If you leave it enough time, it'll dry up. That water will become dry and you will have a residue on your table, whatever it is. So it's not hard to believe that the Most High, it might have took all night to do, but it's not hard to believe that dry land, that water turned into dry land. Read on, sis, and let's see if he give us any more indication as to the mysteries of the Most High. Read on.
Verse 22. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground.
Whoa. Read on.
And the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left.
The waters was a wall on the left and the right, but yet the water in front of them had became dry land. Read on. This is deep.
Verse 23. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And it came to pass that in the morning, watch, the Creator looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians.
Oh, now I know you read that before, but I bet you never paid it no mind. Do you see what just happened? Verse 24, and it came to pass that in the morning watch, remember that angel that was in that cloud?
Came.
He showed his face to the Egyptians, and it scared them. It frightened them. Man, if I was an Egyptian, that alone, that enough would have been enough to make me run back to Egypt. Oh, Pharaoh, you got this, Pharaoh. Choo! And I'd have been gone. The angel peeked out of the clouds and discovered his face unto the Egyptians. And it mesmerized, it frightened the Egyptians. But again, all credit was given to the Most High. Read on, sis.
Verse 25. And took off their chariot wheels, that they drove them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Creator fighteth for them against the Egyptians. And the Creator said unto Moshe, stretch out thy hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen. And Moshe stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its strength when the morning appeared. And the Egyptians fled against it, and the Creator overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea.
Wow. That's some deep stuff right here, girl. That's some deep stuff. Let me tell y'all, this is some deep stuff. You know, you read this all the time, but you really don't read with understanding. You really don't see the mysteries that the Creator left on record in these readings unless you have somebody who can share this information with you. Now you are somebody who can share that information with someone, because people ain't teaching this type of stuff out here. A lot of people read this stuff in and out every day. They find this boring. There's no excitement in it. There's no mystery being revealed. So they think it's boring. The Most High is on top of his game. He's sharing information with us. Let me tell you why it comes in this manner. This is why it comes in this manner. The secret things belong to the Most High, but that which is revealed belong to you and your seed forever. What does that mean? That means that another nation will pick these scriptures up and read that, and all they'll see is what's in face value. And they might be able to go in and get the definition of this Hebrew word, that Hebrew word, but they can't tie it together because their minds are not of that spiritual nature as yours. And because you have that spiritual nature, you are able to tie knots and branches in certain places and make it click where they can't. They can't, because they are not Elohim. You are. It's like speaking in code. Everybody don't understand that code unless you got the password. You was born with the password. Matter of fact, you are that password. You just don't understand because you allow your mind to be convoluted with the teachings of the Western civilization. Return back to the Most High, for in him is your strength. Return back to him. He will teach you his truth. Read on, sis, please. That's right. It took all their top scholars to try to decipher the law, and they still ain't got it. And here it is, here we are, whole young black man living in the ghetto trying to survive, and we breaking down the scriptures that the ancients couldn't figure out. Read on, sis. Let's go.
Verse 28. And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the hosts of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them.
But it never said that Pharaoh died. So therefore, it's hard for us to say that Pharaoh died. I believe he did die.
Not so much.
I believe he perished in this, but it doesn't specifically say that Pharaoh was consumed. Read on, please.
Verse 29. But the children of Israel walked upon dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. Thus, the Creator saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. And Israel saw that great work which the Most High did upon the Egyptians. And the people feared the Most High and believed the Most High and his servant Moshe.
Do you know what kind of confidence that put in the people to see their pursuers dead on the ground in front of them? Matter of fact, they beat the people to the other side. Some of them. They got there before we got there. We saw them on the seashore, dead. They were just chasing us, trying to destroy our lives. Can you imagine how that built up the confidence of the people toward the Creator? Where once they had lost all hope and faith because the Egyptians was coming, and they knew the Egyptians was the mighty warriors. They were coming, and all they could see on the other side of them was water. They lost faith. They got afraid. They were afraid. They were scared. So they cried out to the Most High, and the Most High performed a miracle for them. I'm saying the same thing to every one of you right now. The Most High will do that same thing for you. You have to trust in him. Read on, please.
Reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 15, verse 1. Then sang Moshe and the children of Israel this song unto the Most High, and spoke, saying, I will sing unto the Most High, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider has he thrown into the sea. The Most High is my strength and song, and he is become my salvation. He is my Most High, and I will prepare him an habitation, my Father's Most High, and I will exalt him. The Most High is a man of war. The Creator is his name. Pharaoh's chariots and his hosts has he cast into the sea. His chosen captains, his chosen captains are drowned in the Red Sea. The depths have covered them. They sank into the bottom as a stone. Thy right hand, O Most High, becomes glorious in power. Thy right hand, O Most High, has dashed in pieces the enemy. And in the greatness of thine excellency, thou hast overthrown them that rose up against thee. Thou sendest forth thy wrath, which consumed thee as stubble. And with the blast of thy nostrils, the waters were gathered together, and the flood stood upright as a heap, and the depths were congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil. My lust shall be satisfied upon them. I will draw my sword, my hand shall destroy them. Thou didst blow with thy wind, the sea covered them. They sank as lead in the mighty waters. Who is like unto thee, O Most High, among
Who is like unto thee, Most High? None. There is none like unto the Most High in glory and strength. Who is like unto thee? Read on, sis. This just gets me excited. Hearing this. Read on.
who is like thee, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? Thou stretchest out thy right hand, the earth swallowed them. Thou in thy mercy hast led forth the people whom thou hast redeemed. Thou hast guided them in thy strength unto the holy habitation. The people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold of the inhabitation of Philistia.
Philistia.
Then the chiefs of Edom shall be amazed. The mighty men of Moab, trembling, shall take hold upon them. All the inhabitations of Canaan shall melt away. Fear and dread shall fall upon them. By the greatness of thine arm, they shall be as still as a stone till thy people pass over, O Most High, till thy people pass over, whom thou hast purchased.
Go ahead, sis. I just get excited. Give me, please.
Thou shalt bring them in and plant them in the mountains of thine inheritance, in the place, O Most High, which thou hast made for thee to dwell in the sanctuary of the Most High, which thy hands have established. The Most High shall reign forever and ever. For the horse of the Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with his horsemen into the sea. And the Most High brought again the waters of the sea upon them. But the children of Israel went on dry land in the midst of the sea.
The children of Israel did what?
They went in on dry land.
On dry land in the midst of the sea, in the middle of the sea. Read on.
And Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a tremble in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels, and with dances. And Miriam answered them, sing ye to the Most High, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider has he thrown into the sea. So Moshe brought Israel from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water.
Salika, brother, can we back up a couple of verses?
Sis, we'll back up in a moment, okay?
Okay, because it said Pharaoh went in the water.
We'll back up in a moment, okay? I know you're excited, sis. We'll back up in a moment.
Oh,
Thank you.
Todaya.
Please forgive her. She forgot. But go ahead, move forward, sis.
Verse 23. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink of the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore, the name of it was called Marah.
Morale means bitter. Read on. Not
Verse
morale,
24.
not morale as in teacher, but morale as in nasty. Read on.
And the people murmured against Moshe, saying, what shall we drink? And he cried unto the Creator, and the Creator showed him a tree.
So what's happening is the people were happy, and then they thanked the Creator, they acknowledged the Creator, and all of a sudden, when things didn't go their way, what did they do? They lost faith in the Creator again. This is what I'm trying to say to you. Life is not going to always go the way that you like it to go. It's not going to always be, you're going to get everything that you need when you need it so that you can do what you want to do. It's not going to always be that way. There are going to be times of difficulty, times of struggle. But in all of those times, do not give up. Be faithful to the Most High. Don't turn your back on this King. Don't walk away. Read on, sis.
Verse 25. And he cried unto the Creator, and the Creator showed him a tree, which he had cast into the waters. The waters were made sweet. There he made for them a statue and an ordinance, and there he tested them, and said, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Creator, thy Most High, and wilt do that which is right in his sight, I will give ear to his commandments and keep all his statutes. I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am the Most High, that healeth thee.
That's all he wants you to do, is obey him and keep his commands. Read on, please.
Verse 27. And they came to Alim, where were 12 wells of water, 70 palm trees. They encamped there by the waters.
So now what happened is, when the Most High was trying them, there was no water. And what did they do? They lost all hope and faith and trust in the Creator again. And they became niggas all over again. But then he talked to them, he spoke to them, and he said, if you will obey me, this is what I'll do. And then he brought them into a place, to Elim, where there was 12 wells of water, giving them more, way more than what they had originally, that caused them to cry out, and 70 palm trees. And they encamped there by the waters. So what the Most High is really sharing with us is, if you make it through the struggle, through the hard times, because that's only a test for you. But once you make it through, the other side looks so much better. So peaceful, so joyous, and you'll enjoy that a whole lot better. But you can only make it through by keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what he just said to the children. He said, if you obey my laws, then this is what I'll do for you. And then he proved it to them by taking them to it. All right? Thank you for that reading, my sister. Sister Mariah, how about you tear us up? Show us what you got for us, sis.
Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom. No, I just wanted you to back up to the part.
You on mute?
I'm not. I want you to back up to the part where it said Pharaoh,
What
his
part?
horse.
What verse, sis? What verse?
I wasn't, listen, I was laying down.
Oh, well,
sucking
get up.
nice
Find
and-
it. Get up and show it to us.
Just before Miriam started to sing.
Just
Verse
wait a minute.
19.
Verse 19. Okay,
Don't give
thank
her
you
no
so
hint.
much.
Don't give her no hint. Let her look for it.
Listen, I just want everybody to understand, bro doesn't, y'all, he tells y'all that I'm in here working all day, all night. But when the Shabbat comes and I shut down, I'm not allowed to. Get up, do more. Torah, sis Ornit, verse 19. Can you read that again, please?
Verse 19. For the horse of Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with his horsemen into the sea. And the Creator brought again the waters of the sea
That's all
upon
you
them.
need to read. That's all you need to read, sis.
That's it right there.
You are
His
absolutely right, sis.
glory to the Most High. He took his behind in that water with his folks. And
So here-
that would, giving praise and glory to the Most High, allow for the Hyksos to actually come in unchallenged.
you
There
go.
was no one there to say, oh, catch these hands. No, there was nobody there because he went in. Can I tell you, it's the first time I saw that. I've read this story 1,000 times. It's the first time I saw that.
And thank you for bringing it out because it's the first time I saw it too.
Hallelujah. Amy said that. She said, I don't think my Bane saw that.
Nope, I ain't seen it. Never seen it, Iman. I've been teaching this story for years. See what I mean about how the Most High work?
Yes, I've been teaching it too, and I never saw that. Giving glory and praise to the Most High. All right, now I'm shutting up and laying back down.
Now, here it is in Hebrew. Ki basus pari. Ki basus. For Cain, ba is come. For Cain, sus is horse. Pari or para, Pharaoh. So it is Pharaoh's horse, not the horse of Pharaoh, but Pharaoh's horse. There's a difference because it could be the chariots of Pharaoh, the armies of Pharaoh. So if it say the horses of Pharaoh, plural, then it would mean his army or his military might. But here it says Sus, is singular. The singular horse of Pharaoh went in. So Pharaoh was on his horse.
Yeah.
Unless Pharaoh got off his horse and smacked his horse on the butt and said, go ahead. But if he did, then he got killed somewhere because he never made it back to Egypt.
Right, and that would make sense.
This was beautiful. Oh, glory be to the Most High, King of all creation. All praise, glory, and honor belongs unto him forever and forever. All right, so fam, here it is. Time is open. We open up the floor for questions and answers. Are there any questions? I guess you ain't got no questions because you asked them all during the lesson, right? Here. Are there any questions? Any comments? Anyone? No questions, no comments.
Shalom, shalom, family.
We say, sis,
Shabbat shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom.
I just wanted to say Toda Rabbah to you for being used as a vessel of the Creator to come and enlighten us really every day, but every week. This is one of my favorite stories, actually, and I have so much has been revealed, so much that I didn't catch before. I've read this over and over. I've taught my children, nieces and nephews, and this is just powerful. So, Toda Rabbah to the Most High.
Thank you very much, sis. I appreciate it. All praise, glory, and honor goes unto the Most High King. Thank you very much. Ishi?
Also a great story. I agree. I would like to say, I think it's amazing that the Most High had mercy upon us throughout that whole thing, because I like to think that the part where we were traveling in the wilderness, and just so I know, Sukkoth is named Sukkoth because of the time we were traveling in the wilderness.
Sukkot is booths. Sukkot is a booth. It
Uh-huh.
means booth. So it is, you're right. It is the time that we was traveling in the wilderness because we lived in booths during that wilderness time. Yes,
After this, right?
yes.
Oh, did we get to that story yet, or is that coming
Sukkot,
up?
we haven't gotten to that.
Oh, okay. Well, what I want to say, I think it's great that you brought out a lot of importance on how the Most High showed his love for us. That specifically the part where we saw the angel, his servant, covering us by day and by night, because I like to think we were scared throughout that whole process. We really didn't like come into, at least from what I've seen, we really didn't like come into our full confidence with the creator until we seen the enemy's dead for real, you know. So throughout that whole process of us journeying, we were with the Most High, but we really didn't like trust him fully. And even I would say so today, we still have problems with that. Like I can admit that about myself. But I think it's just really great to see that the Most High sees through that and will work with you. And even, yeah, he'll work with you. He'll bless you. He'll cover you, and until you see. Now, if you still see and you still disobedient, then he'll deal with you as he see fit, right? But like throughout that, that's comforting for me to know like he'll work with you, you know. And it was something else that I wanted. It was something else on top of that, but that was my main point.
Very well. Any more questions or comments? Thank you very much. May the Most High be praised. Any other questions or comments? No one?
I heard that they oh, I'm sorry. I'm just talking. See, I did.
Go ahead and talk. It's that time to talk.
I heard that they maybe found some parts of the chariots and things like
Yeah,
that, and they
I heard
have
that
them
too.
in museums,
I heard it also.
you know.
All right.
Oh, well, documentary. What's a documentary? I want to watch it.
I seen it too in the documentary, and I don't know where it is, but I don't know who it was. All right, Isha, Ima, you ready to close us out with prayer? We got done pretty early today, y'all.
Okay.
Early today. Probably because we only got 800 people in the room. Let's go.
Yeah, we can go one more.
Heavenly Father, as we approach unto your throne, humbly we beg for your permission to come before you. Toda Rabah, O gracious King, for allowing us to come before you on this holy Shabbat day. O Most High, we thank you for getting each and every one of us through our week, whether it was for work, school, rest, whether we're healing from sickness. Thank you, Most High, for allowing us to see another holy Shabbat day, a day that you have ordained as a set-apart day, a day for us to commit ourselves, recommit ourselves from so much going on during the week unto you, O Creator, to praise and glorify your name. We thank you, Creator, for your mercy. We thank you for your protection, your blessing, your guidance. We ask, O Most High, that you continue to forgive us for our sins and iniquities, those known and unknown, O Most High. We ask that, O Most High, you remove any evil and wickedness from the midst of us and from within us, O Most High. Most High, we ask that you be with all of Yisrael in the four corners of the earth. We ask that you be with those who are seeking you, O Most High, that you place them in the hands of those who are applying your laws, statutes, and commandments, O Most High, daily in righteousness and living and doing your laws, statutes, and commandments, O Most High, with love, patience, and endurance. Most High, I ask that you be with those who are in the sick beds, in the prison houses unjustly, the unsheltered, the widow and the fatherless. And if it be your will, O Most High, heal the sick, free the innocent, cover those in need, and protect the fatherless and the widow. Most High, I ask that you be with our elders as they age, O Most High, in this space, that you allow us to sit at their feet and gain the wisdom that they possess, O Most High. Most High, I ask that you be with all of our children in the different places that they are dwelling, whether in our homes or outside of our homes, O Most High, from the young ones to the older ones, O Most High. Guide them, O Creator. Watch their step daily, O Most High, as they go to and fro from the different things that they are enduring as children, going into adults, as people. When they call out unto you, O Most High, please answer them swiftly. Please allow all of us, O Most High, to stay on the straight path, not to veer to the right or the left, but to keep us focused on the divine mission that you have already set within us. Most High, I ask that you be with us as we continue to build our community Beulah. May it grow in abundance in the space that you have already set before us. Even if we can't see it, O Most High, we can feel it. Keep us focused, O Most High, that not our dream alone becomes to fruition, but the dream that you have already placed us in. And allow what the vision that we have seen, that we see, to be in tune and in line with what you have already set. And Most High, if we do anything incorrectly, please correct us swiftly so that we may get right back on and do the things that you have aligned for us to be and do. Most High, we thank you for this beautiful lesson today. We thank you for opening the eyes of my husband and the blessing of his mouth and lips, the blessing of our sister Mariah for seeing things that others may not have seen, and just for all of us being enlightened and learning. And almost how we thank you for our ancestors that you placed in this Tanakh for us to learn from, because that story of Moshe, that endurance, that strength, that faith that he had in you, O Most High, may we all glean from that, O Creator. May we look upon his strength, his patience, his courage, O Most High, to lead, and glean from that. Take a little, O Most High. Most High, we ask that you continue to watch over us in the places that we may be, that may not be kind to us, O Creator, but that you protect us from the unkind, the evil, the wickedness. And you keep us guarded, O Creator, in every step of the way. We thank you, Creator, for all things and everything. And we all say, Toda Rabah, Abi, Abi, Toda Rabah, Selah.
May the Most High be praised, glorified, honored, revered, respected, forever and forever. Any comments before we close out, family?